What is up, guys? Pie Muffin here, and we are back with our Tales of Arise video. You'll forgive me if I sound exhausted. I have actually been up for like 20 hours, something like that, so you'll forgive me if during this video I don't sound as enthusiastic as I normally do. If I sound enthusiastic normally, I feel like I have a pretty monotone voice. Anyways, the Tales of Arise stream just ended. It was a 2-hour-long stream. The first hour pretty much had news, and then the second hour was just a Q&A with Tomizawa himself. I obviously don't have all the questions and answers that he went over, but some of the more important ones I was able to kind of learn what was kind of talked about there. So we're going to go through here. We'll scroll through, you know, the beginning stuff to kind of showcase some of the things. If you didn't know, this stream was to show off skits, fishing, cooking, and what was it, camping? So we did get to see all of those kinds of things. And before I go any further, I want to say this. There are going to be a lot of mixed feelings and a lot of mixed opinions on both sides with some of the reveals that happened today. All I say is, if you're happy with the changes, then that's great, be happy. If you're not happy, then that's fine, be happy. But don't, you know, if you see someone upset about the changes with something, don't go and attack them, and then vice versa. If you see someone, you know, being happy about the changes, don't go and be like, no, this is wrong, da-da-da-da-da. No, everyone's going to have a different experience, and that's totally fine. Just like me, I'm going to have you know, I have some stuff I'm not really too happy about, but if you are happy with these changes, then more power to you. So, let's talk about everything here. So, first things first, let's go ahead and I want to scroll a little bit here. So as you can see, so I guess this is what, like, the camping scenes are going to look like. So, like, when you camp out somewhere for the night, I don't know if it's going to be, like, an item you use or if they're going to be specific locations. But, you know, you've got the characters kind of sitting on these boxes outside, you know, it's like a campfire. Ooh, that's loud. Okay, there's a better image. So you can see that right there. It's all around a campfire. And I assume when the whole party is together, you probably have all 6 of them there. Or this could even be like, maybe everyone is there, they're just asleep, and you just get a special scene. You know, this could just be a scene between Law and Alphen. So I do like that. That's pretty cool. So every time you rest somewhere, there might be like something new and unique that they talk about. Very, very cool. So, right here, what you're going to see, these are skits. So, my initial reaction to this is, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of it. You know, if you like this style, because there was a lot of talk about this, that 3D skits were going to be a thing, where they would just use the in-game models and just... So this is like Scarlet Nexus. It's very akin to what Scarlet Nexus did with their box scenes, I guess you could call them. You know, where the characters' faces are, you know, in boxes, and, you know, as they talk, more boxes will pop up as, like, the scene is progressing. I think this could... Here's the thing. I would 100% just wanted normal 2D skits. Like, I wanted what Tales, you know, has always had. You know, that's no secret if you follow me on Twitter or anything, that's just what I wanted. I wanted, you know, what they had in Berseria, you know, full body skits. You know, all the characters are on screen at once, you know. And here's the thing with it. The main reason is because you can do there's a lot of expressions you can do in 2D like that you won't be able to do in this style with the actual game models. It's just like how, like, an animated superhero film can do a lot more than a live-action superhero film in terms of, like, the special effects. That's what I kind of compare it to. I'm not saying that this is going to be bad, per se, but, one, it's what we've been used to ever since, you know, early Tales. We went from, you know, boxes with the character's face in them to, you know, full body pictures, or like part body pictures, or, you know, like right now in Reyes and Crestoria, for example, they are full body. And And, you know, we've had full body in, you know, Graces and in Zestiria and Berseria. So, you know, it is one, and I'm sure there's a few more I'm forgetting, but it's fine. So I'm not the biggest fan of this. It'll take some getting used to. It doesn't ruin the game for me to see the, you know, skits like this, but it is I think the most off-putting thing about it is that the boxes just come in out of so many different directions so fast. So it's kind of hard to kind of keep up with, like, what's really kind of going on here. And it feels off to me. But that's where I was saying, you know, this is going to be the big controversial topic until the release, is how skits are handled. Because, you know, a lot of longtime fans are upset about this because obviously we've had 2D skits, you know, pretty much since the beginning. And then you might get, you know, some other people who are either new to the franchise, or they could even be longtime fans too that are okay with this change. But I just, you know, don't attack anyone for how they feel. You know, everyone can feel how they feel. I'm going to try and keep the most open mind I can with this, because I think the thing with this is it feels very stiff. Like, when you look at the animations, they're not like, you know, the characters kind of freeze in place after their scene is done, which makes sense. But, I feel like it wouldn't bother me as much if it was like the anime kind of like pictures, because you're just looking at a 2D image on the screen. Whereas here, you're looking at the characters, you know, being frozen in place in their normal models. Anyways, that's enough talk about that. So we did see that, so that's like the camping and the skit scenes. Let's fast forward a bit. Here's another thing to talk about the skits. Here's one beneficial thing that I will say with skits, is that the characters' actual costumes, you know, if you change with the DLC costumes or just accessories in the game, those will actually appear in these skits because you're actually using the in-game models. So, like, you can see this top right image right here has all the characters in kind of like formal school outfits. It looks like top left right here is normal. Bottom left, it looks like there's some accessories on some of the characters. And bottom right, I can't really tell if there's a difference right there. But that's pretty much what it's gonna, you know, that is a benefit to how these are going to look. Let's just keep scrolling. They went over fishing. We did get to see a little bit of fishing. It looks pretty simple. It seems like it's more of a rhythm game. You know, you want to press the button at the right time, you know, to kind of light up the center thing. Thankfully, it's not going to be like some other, like, for example, Trails of Cold Steel. In the early games, I really wasn't a fan of how fishing worked in that, because you were not only button mashing, but you had to button mash different buttons. It would just randomly change as you're button mashing. It would be like, oh, now you gotta press X. Oh, now you gotta press triangle. Oh, now you gotta press circle. Oh, now you gotta push left on the left stick. And it was just, I'm glad it's not gonna be like that. It seems like here, you know, it's just gonna pulse through the middle. You just keep clicking it there, and as you keep going, you know, you'll pull the fish closer, and then you'll eventually get the fish. So, very cool there. Fishing will obviously be used to get more materials for cooking and stuff. Let's keep moving. Still more fishing. It looks like they have their own, like, cooking costumes, which I think is kind of cool. So yeah, you click the campfire. You know, you've got the characters kind of just like standing here. You can choose to do one of these three things, which is, you know, 1, just go to sleep, 2, conversation, and of course, I don't know what the DLC option is for, but you'll be able to, you know, choose what you want to cook. It's kind of akin to like how Final Fantasy 15 was. You choose what you want to cook, and then, you know, sometimes you'll get some, you know, like right here, you saw there was like a little animation with Kisara saying something, you know, about what, you know, they were cooking, and then there is, you know, still more dialogue to be had, you know, after cooking or whatever, you know, during scenes and stuff like that. So I think that's pretty cool. So that's pretty much it when it comes to, and then of course you see more of how the skits are kind of handled here. This one seems a little bit better because it doesn't feel all over the place. Like the other ones, it was like 2 were appearing in the middle, and then there was one big one in the middle that was cutting off the other 2. Like this one feels more like a box. so this doesn't feel as kind of like all over the place. Yeah, see, these ones seem a little bit better than the one from before. And this is obviously related to the cooking. You can see Alphen is cooking right here, which we did learn that apparently Alphen is a horrible cook. So a lot of Tales games have their notorious bad cooker, and ours is going to be our main character, which I find very, very funny. So that's cool there. They went into some gameplay for Kisara, so that was cool there. They showed off the Hoodle area. For those who don't know, the Hoodle, Hoodle is the little owl that you're going to have around you. And there's going to be a number of them out in the world that you will collect and bring back to the sanctuary. And each one you bring back will give you, some rewards or stuff. Some will give you, like, accessories, to put on your character, stuff like that. So I think that'll be pretty cool. More stuff with the skits right here. Very cool. Let me see if there was anything else. Oh, they did show off, some closer looks at some of the DLC costumes. I really like this one for Shion right here. I think that one looks really good. You get another look. I swear, Alphen with it, by the way, this could totally just, like, it's not really a spoiler to see the other side of his face, but you would think it is because the whole thing is, like, everything we've seen, he pretty much always has, one of his eyes covered with the rest of the mask. So it'd be kind of funny if, for example, you get to the point of the game where he fully rips his mask off and you're wearing, like, this DLC costume where he doesn't have a mask. So you're just going to see him putting his hand over his face and pulling off nothing. Unless it's an anime cutscene, of course. If he rips it off during an animated cutscene, then that'll be a bit different. But you get a look at some of the DLC costumes here. I really like this sword. I don't know if this is, like, part of an accessory or if this is actually one of the swords you can get, but I really like this one. As for the other costumes I see here, I'm not really a fan of all these other costumes. Like, I'm actually not a fan of any of these 6 right here. Maybe Rinwell's a little bit. I like the hat. But the rest of these in this screenshot, I'm not really a huge fan of. So let's skip ahead. You get to see some of them right here. So these are 3 of the DLC packs. If you bought the, I think it's the Ultimate Edition, you get all the DLC packs. I'm not really a fan of these over here. Not really a fan of the school ones. I'd say the summer ones, I like Gion's, I like Law's. I like Rinwell's. I think out of those, I really like those. They haven't shown us if there's going to be any Legacy costume DLC. In most Tales games, for those who don't know, Legacy costumes are basically the outfits of previous characters that you're actually able to get. For example, one of them, I could say, Yuri's outfit was able to be worn by Saray in Zestiria. So they do stuff like that. You get a close-up. Actually, this one's not too bad. It just feels weird to see him without the other half of his mask, but I think this one's not too bad. You get a closer look at that one. I really like that one. I don't like him with his, like, proper hair like that, but I guess it's not horrible. I guess that one's okay. Not really feeling it, not really feeling it. Just kind of my own taste. Okay, so this is something I think I mentioned before, but in case I haven't, this is going to be, I don't know if it's going to be paid or a free download, but basically this is a BGM pack where each game is apparently going to get 3 music tracks, or 3 battle tracks, and you'll be able to change the BGM, as you desire. So if you feel like having some Zestiria battle music, you switch it to that. If you feel like Vesperia, Destiny 2, which is actually kind of cool. What's cool about this is, assuming they don't remove anything, Western fans are going to get Tales of Destiny 2 music and Tales of Rebirth music, both of which these games did not come out in the West. So you're going to get music from games you've never even played. Me, however, I have played Rebirth, so that won't be new for me. But Destiny 2, I have not played yet, so that'll be pretty cool. So I think this is pretty cool. Even if it is paid, I don't really, that doesn't bother me. I think it's cool. We get some legacy music there. to try out, and then they go over what all the music tracks are right here. You can take a look real quick at some of these. So Fantasia, Destiny, Eternia, Destiny 2, Symphonia, Rebirth, and then we got, you know, Legendia, Abyss, Innocence R, Vesperia, Hearts. It's very interesting that they're doing Innocence R, but not Hearts R. It's just Hearts. Grace's F, of course. And then Zillia 2, Zestiria, Berseria. So very cool. You get a nice variety of music right there. I think this might have been... Oh, this just talks about the PS5 stuff. I think this is where everything goes kind of into the Q&A. Yeah, this goes into the Q&A portion. I did pull up some images to get, you know, better look at like what skits are going to look like right here. You know, just kind of, I already showed this image, you know, it shows all 4 of these things right here. And then I'm not going to pull, you're not going to see this on screen, but I will talk about this for a second. I did, some of the Q&A stuff that they did talk about was actually, you know, people were kind of talking about, so I did get to kind of talk about that, or, you know, tweet about that a little bit. I'm not going to pull this up because I don't want my own personal bias to be affecting anybody, so where I'm not going to pull it up, but I will still talk about it. So let's just get started with the bottom thing. So the first thing I got from the Q&A was there are no plans to release a demo to the public for Tales of Arise. They said they're considering it, but I'm going to be honest, if there's not a demo in the works right now, I feel like a month is very little time to get a demo ready and out to the public. So I am not expecting a public demo before the game's release, which is weird because they said they wanted to get the game in the hands of fans, but maybe they just meant like, you know, like the people who were able to demo test it on YouTube and stuff like that who made videos on it. But it doesn't seem like we're going to be getting a demo for the game. Length of the game is around as long as Berseria was. So, me, for example, it took me 39 hours to beat Berseria. I didn't do any of the side stuff on my first playthrough. I just kind of solely played the story. I think if you add the side stuff, you know, it probably can get you, you know, 50 to 60 hours. So, figure if you take your time with the game, do the side stuff, do all the extra activities, you know, you could probably stretch this to a 60 to 80 hour game. So that's fine, you know, pretty normal for an... I'm just so... My brain is just so messed up from playing the Trails series, because all of those games are like, especially the Cold Steel ones, are like 100 hours each. So saying like a 60-hour game almost feels short to me, but it's really not. For an RPG, you know, 60 hours is pretty standard. Another question that got brought up is, you know, for Tales of Festival, for example, how are they going to do... Because if they only do skits with 3D models in Tales of Arise, how is that... You can't have, like, a 3D model with all the other 2D characters at Tales Fest. Or, like, for example, in the mobile games, you're not going to have a 3D Alphen model talking to all the other characters. And Tomizawa basically said there will be exclusive assets that are made for the mobile games that they will use. So, Tales of Vesperia, Tales of the Rays, and Tales of Crestoria will have normal 2D anime models. So, if you are someone who would have wanted to know what Alpha and them would have looked like, you will be able to see that from the mobile game stuff. And of course, that means like Mystic Art cut-ins, all that kind of stuff. You know, we are going to get actual, you know, 2D artwork for these characters. What else we got? They did confirm that there will be a cameo battle. They didn't specify how many characters would be in the cameo battle, but you can start speculating on who it might be. You know, the big things I'm seeing people say is Yuri and Flynn. You know, we have not gotten a Vesperia rep as a cameo battle yet, so I think it's very likely that at least Yuri, maybe, you know, they might do Yuri and Estelle. But Yuri and Flynn seems to be the duo for, you know, a lot of things, so... I would not be surprised if it's them, and then some people, of course, saying, you know, Saray and Velvet, but I feel like that's too predictable, and I think I wouldn't really want that, just because I feel like it's too soon. Next, it was very kind of confusing. It seems like there isn't going to be a grade system, but there's going to be something called artifacts on a new game plus that you're going to be able to get. They didn't expand on what artifacts are, but I do question how that's going to affect everything, because for those who don't know, the grade system was dependent on, it's different for every game, but for the most part, it depends on, your score you get at the end of battles. It gets accumulated at the end of the game. And then on your next playthrough, you can select things like keeping your items, having double XP, holding, more of a specific, of any item. Just kind of random stuff like keeping your arts, even though you'll be reset back to, beginner level. So I wonder how that's going to work when you do a new game plus in this game. It was asked if there was going to be any DLC, like post-release DLC, and Tomizawa said there will be no main story DLC. So to play the game to its fruition, to its completion, from start to finish, you don't have to buy anything extra. You buy the game, you play through it, that's the end of the story. Considering the Alicia DLC for Zestiria wasn't accepted, widely as well as, they probably wanted, they're probably not going to do something like that again, I think, for the most part. And they said they're not going to do sequels for Arise. They said Arise is going to be a one-and-done thing. The next Tales game that comes out after Arise will be a new original story. So any DLC that comes out is probably just going to be costumes. They might have some, like, side objectives you can do, but for the most part, it seems like it's just going to be costumes. Or maybe more music, who knows. Someone else also asked if if the ending will be a good or a bad ending, and he was unable to answer that for obvious reasons. And I think that was pretty much it. So that's pretty much everything that was, like, really important that happened on the stream. And then, of course, we've got like a month until the game comes out. I'm still very excited, despite, a little disappointments here and there. Like, I think really my only big disappointment is the skits. Like, I really just wish we had gotten the 2D models, but I will wait until I've played through the game to judge whether this 3D stuff works or not. At first glance, from what we were shown in the stream, it seemed very kind of like the characters felt very kind of stiff, but you really only see like 2 or 3 skits or part of 2 or 3 skits in the stream, so I'm not going to judge it till I've actually played through the game myself. Of course, I'm sure that Bandai, Tomizawa and Bandai are going to take the feedback they get from this game to improve in the next game. So if people are really just hating the 3D skits, I can definitely see them going more back towards the 2D style for the next title. But of course, yelling at them to change something before release now isn't going to do anything. So telling them, hey, we don't want this, make it 2D skits and release Arise with 2D skits, that's obviously not going to happen. We're literally like 43 days away from the release of the game. That's not going to happen. It's kind of the same thing where, people wanted them to, re-implement multiplayer before release, and it's just like, it's too close for that. I get people wanted it. I get why, but it's just too close to release. They weren't going to delay the game again just to do that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So let me know what you guys think down below. If you guys do want to discuss, obviously everything, be civil to one another. If you like the skits, that's fine. If you don't like the skits, that's also fine. But let's, let's all be civil with each other. Let's not argue about it. Everyone's free to have their own opinions. But, voice that opinion in kind of your own personal space. Don't go, on other people's tweets and stuff being like, no, I hate this. You should hate this too. Or no, I like this. You should like this too. So yeah, let's all just look forward to the release of the game. Maybe it'll surprise us. We'll see how it goes. Of course, I'm going to be doing a full playthrough on the channel. I'll probably explain the I don't want to call it terms, but my kind of rules I'm setting for myself when it comes to this playthrough, because I'm not going to be like every other, YouTuber who does playthroughs out there. I'm not going to be heavily editing this because I'm really, honestly, if it were up to me, I would much prefer just play the game on my own and then do a review after, but I know a lot of people want to see me play through the game themselves, so I am willing to do that, but it's, you know, it's going to be it's going to be a very casual playthrough, because it's really just going to be me enjoying the game. And then maybe I'll do an actual review afterwards, you know, as well. But that's going to be it, guys. Let me know what you guys think down below. Don't forget to subscribe for more if you're new to the channel. I'll see you all next time. Have a wonderful day, everyone.